This is based off the stuff we had yesterday. And 67B says you take CA3PO4 parentheses 2 solid, and react that with sulfuric acid liquid, 3H2SO4 liquid, to form 3 calcium sulfate solid plus 2H3PO4 liquid. Okay, and this says calculate delta H for this. And it tells you to use the values in the back of the book. So again, I got my book marked here. So I go back to the back and I'm going to say, okay, well, for good purposes, delta H is equal to the sum of the moles of product times their enthalpies of formation minus the sum of the moles of reactants times their enthalpies of formation. So that means delta H equals, I'm going to start out by open bracket, open parenthesis. I remember we're starting with products first. So I have 3 moles of calcium sulfate, solid, and I'm going to go into my book, and this is probably going to be listed around wherever calcium is. Well, I found calcium. There's calcium sulfate, solid, and it is negative 1433, first column. So that's negative 1433 kilojoules per 1 mole of CaSO4 solid. So that's my first term. My second term is going to be 2 moles of H3PO4 liquid times. Now, when you go to look for your H3PO4, you might have to hunt around a little bit. But a lot of times these acids are listed closer to the second part, so I might look where the P's are. Because some of these are just in a logical order and some not so much. Okay, so I just find H3PO4 on the bottom half of page 821. And when I look, there's actually 3 different values for H3PO4. There's a value for the solid, for the liquid, and the aqueous. So I got to be careful to make sure that I get the liquid one, which is negative 1267. That's negative 1267 kilojoules per 1 mole of H3PO4 liquid. And I'm going to close all that out. I'm just going to wrap it down because of space. And so now I've got 1 mole, now into my reactants, Ca3PO4 solid, parentheses 2 solid, times. And so I'm going to look for calcium phosphate. That's probably going to be listed by calcium. Calcium phosphate, I find that negative 4126. Negative 4126 kilojoules per 1 mole of Ca3 parentheses PO4 parentheses 2 solid. Close that. Okay. Then the last one I got to look for H2SO4. Again, that's probably going to be listed by the S's. So I go find S's. Okay, so there's 2 H2SO4 values. There's a liquid and there's an aqueous. I want the liquid one, which is negative 814. So this is 3 moles H2SO4 liquid, and this is 1 mole H2SO4 liquid. Close, close. Okay, so delta H now, again, take your time, break everything down one at a time. You'll be a lot better off if you do. You're less likely to make sign errors. So I'm going to take 3 times negative 1433, and I get negative 4299 kilojoules plus 2 times negative 1267. That's negative 2534 kilojoules. That closes out the first set. And then the second set, that's just 1 times that. So it's negative 4126 kilojoules plus 3 times 814. 3 times 814. That's negative 2442 kilojoules. And then I'm probably just going to break down my brackets. So negative 4299 minus 2534, and that comes out to be negative 68 33 kilojoules. And negative 4126 plus a negative 2442 is negative 6568 kilojoules. And so delta H is equal to, okay, so that's negative 6833 minus a minus, which is plus 6568. And I get negative 265 kilojoules. So those are pretty easy to do. You don't think?
Yeah,
Why not?
I just don't get it.
Okay, you're gonna write down the moles of product, 3 moles of a product, right here, times, go look up the value of the book.
And that's on the, you gave us that page.
A19 it starts at, yeah. And so I'm gonna close out that term, that's my first product, and I'm gonna add to it because that means the sum of. My second term is 2 moles of this. Gotta pay attention that it's liquid, go look up this value in the book, close it out. So I've done all my products now. Now I'm gonna subtract from it the sum of the moles of reactant times their enthalpies of formation. So I've got 1 mole of this solid, 1 mole, look up its value, close out that term. Again, this means sum of, so I'm gonna add the second product, 3 moles of that substance, look up its delta H, close out that term. Then I'm just multiplying that and that to get these numbers, that and that to get these numbers. Breaking those down, break it down. Ronnie?
Where are we exactly looking for the tool? What is it called? The delta H?
Yeah, delta H, that's what you're looking for. Change in enthalpy.
Okay.
It's like,
Page
like a
A19.
quiz. We'd have to look at that in the back of the head.
No, there's a couple ways I can go about it. What I usually do with you guys at an honors level is I usually like list them in on the test. And I usually give you some that maybe you don't need. And sometimes I don't give you something that's in its standard state. So for instance, if it was O2 in that formula there, that would be 0. And you should know that's 0. With the AP guys, what I do is I have packets of these values and I hand them out test day. And I say, go look it up. You guys, I don't want to waste your time just trying to find some hunting for something, you know what I mean? I want you focusing on that you can do it. Good?
So wait, like, would it be like 61 last night? Would that's like you would give it to us, where they listed the 3 separate values? Is that what you mean?
No, 61 is an old Hess's law where you're taking, like here we're not dealing with other equations, we're dealing with one equation. But 61, that's taking the equations, that's what we're going to do next. Is taking the equations and trying to arrange them in a way that mimics a particular equation. So we're going to do that in a second. They're 2 separate types of problems.
So if CaSO4 wasn't a standard 4, we would just put 0 over 1 mole.
You can even just say 0.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just say 0, nothing. You can just omit it completely.
So it takes negative 265 kilojoules for that entire reaction.
So that entire reaction, it gives off that much heat. Cool. So if you did this reaction, it would give off a little warmth.
So do you look up, like, say for the 3H2SO4, is that whole thing going to be on A19?
Yep. Look, if you go to back to the book. Back that around. Right here. H2SO4 liquid.
So there's no particular order then?
No, there is, but that's what I was saying before, is that some of the ways that they list those things, like H2SO4 isn't listed with the H's, it's listed with the S's.
And then you just look at,
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry.
you just look whether it's gas or liquid, gas, and then you take the one and then put it over how many moles are given? Okay.
Good there? Yep. Yep. Okay, so give me a second to get the next one set up.